hands together, very funny. Dave Membrila is here tonight.
Oh, keep that going for all the comics you've seen tonight. Yeah. They were awesome. Thank you, Matic, for the invite. Now, where are my drinkers? Drinkers, raise your hand. Raise your hand. You got to drink twice as much for me. Doctor made me quit. Said I was drinking too much, man. I went in for a physical, found out my blood type was Jack Daniels. I haven't been to the liquor store in 2 months. They put out a silver alert for me. What's up with that heat, man? It's Phoenix cheesing. They say it gets so hot you can fry your eggs right there on the sidewalk. And I don't know because I sat out there naked. They did a number on my chorizo too. That's all I'm saying. I had eggs Benedict. That's all. It was bad, man. My thighs were starting to chafe and we didn't have any talcum, so I just grabbed some Bisquick out of the cupboard. I poured it down my shorts. An hour later, I had pan de huevo. with a little cuernito right there on the side of it. Could have been worse. My wife, she had fried fish. Yeah, I didn't provide the tartar sauce or nothing, I'm just saying. I've been into that TV show Alone on Netflix. Have you seen this? It's a contest where they drop off different contestants on the island and you gotta fend for yourself and you gotta build your own hut and make your own fire. It's like camping on steroids. You know? But these people who eat some nasty shit, man. They will eat like bugs and maggots and roaches. I mean, everything else you'd get in a Filiberto's burrito. But I was watching the show and the other day, some guy was so hungry, he killed a rabbit and ate it raw. Oh yeah, he got constipated. They took him off the island to the hospital. I think he died. Doctor said he had a wild hair up his ass. I took my family to the Barbie movie and they were all in character. You guys, clap your hands if you see the Barbie movie. They were all in character and pink and la chingada. And I just got home from work. I was going to take them. Dad, you got to dress up. Dress up. Yeah, in character or something. So I grabbed a mariachi sombrero and I went as a Mexican. But it was cute, man. They had Barbie the doctor, Barbie the lawyer. They even had Barbie the president of the United States. You know, just once I like to see a Barbie I can relate to being Hispanic from Tucson, like a hoochie mama Barbie, you know. Works at the dollar store, hickeys all over her neck. A crack baby named Stacy, something. And now they got this Hispanic movie out. It's called The Blue Beetle. Have you heard of that? They call it The Blue Beetle because nobody will come out to see the brown cucaracha. Had my class reunion the other day. I was excited. Class reunion, woohoo! Excited, woohoo! It sucked. Because I was homeschooled. Freaking mom didn't even show up, man. That's some bullshit there. The only one in my class, I still graduated number 5. Anybody have any nicknames growing up? Nicknames? Clap your hands if you had nicknames. I had a couple nicknames. The one that stuck was Squirt, because I was a little guy. I was a preemie, you know. So it was sufficient. You know, hey, Squirt, how was school today, Squirt? Get your homework done, Squirt? Want to go to the ball game this weekend, Squirt? It was awesome. Except when 6th grade, we had that sex talk in health class, you know, where babies came from, you know. And I was all bummed out because thinking that, you know, damn, my mom gave it up to my dad. You know, and the different ways he could have violated her. I was depressed that day. I'm walking home all slow. My dad had beat me home that day. I kicked open the door. He says, hey, how's my little Squirt? Dad, you can't call me that anymore. Obvious reasons. Son of a bitch. I got family out in the audience right now. My brother's going to kick my ass. How are we doing after COVID? Everybody healthy? Everybody doing good? People got the shot, the booster. Some people complained about having side effects. Anybody have like headaches and stomach aches? I got an STD. I have no idea. That's my story. That's sticking to it. teaching at the time. I quit teaching. I went to bartending school. How about a big round of applause for your wait staff and the bartenders back there? Take care of it. Because that shit is fun, but it's not easy. You gotta learn how to mix all these drinks, and some of them are risque. You know, you have sex on the beach, you got pop my cherry, you got the buttery nipple. You know. I remember how embarrassed I was the first time a girl asked me for a blowjob. You know. But I'm practicing like this, all this shit at home. I get to mix some drinks. I ask my wife, "Hey, honey, how would you like a screaming orgasm?" She says, "Why, is the pool guy here again? What?" And we don't even have a pool. That's some bullshit there. And I started working at a hardware store, man. It's cool because you get to play with some of the customers. We had an 80-year-old couple running in. The man was ahead of the wife. The man says, "Hey, buddy, where are your restrooms?" "Straight down this aisle, first left, next right." "Okay, second question. Where are your pressure washers?" "Pressure washer? How bad you got to poop, sir?" Hey, maybe you should eat more apples, you know. But the bad thing about this place is that it's right in the middle of the town where there's a lot of meth labs. So we get a lot of tweakers, a lot of meth heads, a lot of homeless. They come in and rip us off. And so one day I kicked out like 3 or 4. You know, we can't let that happen. You know, and on the way out to my car that night, fuckers surrounded me. And they had weapons, and I recognize those weapons. "Hey, that hammer, that's from aisle 6. That crowbar, that wasn't our clearance. That axe, that's from our seasonal. Hey, where'd you get the pressure washer?" And they're closing in on me, man. I had to defend myself the only way I knew how. I threw a job application at them. Never knew them fuckers could run that fast. I ain't seen them since. But like you said, I was a school teacher for 40 years. 40 fucking years. I got fired for one job. Thank you. Thank you. I got fired for one job. I moved around a lot. And here's why. I mean, it was my personality. I was always making jokes or telling a joke. So I was an assistant principal. 2 weeks before school started, I'm meeting my monitors, my security staff. "Hello, Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Johnson, welcome aboard." I'm reading their name tags, Miss Lopez, and then this scrawny little lady. I can't pronounce Miss Mula. She said, "I'm Miss Mulatalo." "Mulatalo? What is that, like Hawaiian?" She says, "No, my husband, he's Samoan." I said, "Oh, I'm some Mexican." And they wanted to fire me for a racial slur. You ready that? It wasn't even my joke. As a comedian friend from El Paso, I'm telling him the story. He's laughing his ass off. He says, "Serves you right for trying to steal my joke." But that's not why they fired me. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Since I started teaching, I always had middle school kids. I always had 6th graders first period. Now, when they're in elementary school, they're out chingona. They're like seniors in high school. They're like their shit don't stink. They get to middle school, they're scared. So I have this icebreaker. I get them together in class. I say, "Okay, who's the smartest kid in here?" And you always have that one kid, "I am, me, I am." Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. How you answer the question is going to determine how smart you are. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. "Do you have any holes in your underwear?" He says, "No." "Well, how do you get your legs through?" Fuck you, you're going to be telling that to your kids today. That shit is, I don't care what your pronoun is, that shit is funny. When I got to be about 26, I was teaching at the university, and this time I was nervous because there's not a big age difference, right? So the first day of class, the students are coming in, I'm thinking, shit, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? They're going to treat me like a student or like a professor. So I thought, I'm going to use my icebreaker. Yeah, that's what I'll do. And just as luck would have it, in comes this beautiful redhead, green eyes, beautiful complexion, a body that won't quit, and a dress. It just sticks tight to her body, sits right in front of me. Right in front of me, like I'm not nervous enough, right? So I said, "Okay, let's go ahead and get this thing started. I'm looking for the smartest person in here. Who could that be?" And she raised, the only one that raises her hand. And I said, "Okay, ma'am, you think you're pretty smart?" She says, "Wow, I am in college." And everybody, "Ooh, burn, ooh." All right, gonna try to embarrass me? Okay, all right. I'm going to give you a question. How you answer the question is going to determine how smart you really are. Are you ready? Fire away. I said, "Okay. Do you have any holes in your underwear?" She looked at me just like this. "I'm not wearing underwear." I had nothing. I had no comeback. Nothing. Never mind the fired for just, I had no comeback, nothing. But that's not why they fired me for. I'm gonna tell you about that in a minute. Do we have any Soprano fans in here? Clap your hands if you're a Soprano. Okay, if you're a Sopranos fan, you know about the bada bing. Okay, and if you don't know about the bada bing, I'm just gonna say it like this: chichis. Okay, chichis. So I'm watching The Sopranos with the Bada Bing episode. At the same time, I'm creating a parent permission slip to take my class to the state capitol. And we're gonna come back, find a strip mall, and get them something to eat, get them home, right? But I wasn't paying attention because I was watching chichis. You know, there's only a 4-letter difference between strip mall and strip club. These letters went home. They came. Some of them came back signed. The boys were excited. The dads wanted a chaperone. But that's not why I got fired. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Oh, do we have any teachers? Clap your hand if you're a teacher. Right on. Give them a big round of applause. Don't back me up on this. When we can't get a sub for another teacher, a teacher calls in, we have to cover the class. It sucks. Nobody likes doing it. Okay, so I get this note. 4th period, you gotta cover the 5th grade class, social studies. So I get there, there's no lesson plans, none. Just a note that says, teach them about the 50 states. So I asked the kids, you guys know anything about, no, we haven't even started that lesson yet. She wants to test us already. Okay, so the jokester in me came out, okay? I'm gonna come up with a riddle for the states. You tell me what state it is. In fact, you guys can play along like you're in the class. See if you're smarter than a 5th grader, ready? Here was the first question. What state has the highest cell phone bill? The highest cell phone bill. Anybody?
California.
Texas. Texas. Get it? Texas. Okay, so now you know how the game goes, okay? See if you're smarter than a 5th grader. What state sounds like a small soft drink?
Minnesota.
Minnesota, right? You know, it sounds corny, but you can see the kids mouthing it. Minnesota, 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 Minnesota. So they're trying to retain it and they're learning. Here's an easy one. Here's an easy one. What state is a pirate's favorite? Arkansas! I'll leave you with this one. What state has the most baby mamas? The most baby mamas. Anybody? Idaho. That's the joke that got me fired right there. It made sense to me, right? I know. But I'm from Tucson. I grew up on the south side, man. Tough neighborhood. My neighborhood was so tough, the local YMCA stood for Your Mama's a Crack Addict. But we make a lot of trips to Mexico because you can buy shit cheaper in Mexico, like prescription drugs, you know. But it's Mexico. You never know what you're going to get, right? I was down to Rocky Point. I bought some Viagra. For 4 hours, my arm was like this. I couldn't even pee. My arm was so stiff. And my favorite place to do comedy is El Paso. Do we have anybody from El Paso here? Right, we're going to talk about you fuckers in a minute. Because in El Paso, everything is Mexicanized. No, I ate at a Chinese-Mexican restaurant called Chingasus. What's up with that? Right there in the corner of Orale and Puto Cabrón Way, right there. But I'm very proud to be Mexican. Thank you. Oh, shit. The Walmart must be closed. A lot of my friends say, my Anglo friends say, hey, you're not a real Mexican, dude. You were born here. That makes you like Chicano or Hispanic. So I decided to combine those 3 words, Mexican, Chicano, and Hispanic. So now when people ask about my ethnicity, I can tell them, orale, let me see. Mexican, Chicano, Hispanic. I think that makes me a mechanic. Thanks a lot.